In the mountains of Northern California, the voters of Shasta County reached a clear decision this past June. Over 55% of them went to the polls to pass a major local initiative. Known as Measure B, the citizen-led initiative was designed to expand election transparency and implement new security protocols for the county's voting process. However, shortly after the results were certified, state officials intervened to prevent the measure from being enacted. Before we analyze the legal conflict, this breakdown is brought to you by Shasta Unfiltered, providing the North State with honest news and entertainment. The legal challenge against Measure B originated in Sacramento, with Attorney General Rob Bonta and Secretary of State Shirley Weber filing the lawsuit to strike it down. At its core, this is a jurisdictional conflict. It pits a county's ability to govern itself through a local charter against the state's power to enforce a uniform legal code over the ballot box. On August 7th, Shasta County Superior Court Judge Benjamin Hanna sided with the state, granting an order to stop the measure from moving forward. The judge issued a preliminary injunction. In legal terms, this is a temporary hold. It doesn't determine if Measure B is valid or invalid. It simply stops the county from implementing it until the case can be fully litigated in court. The injunction blocks 4 specific parts of Measure B, likely conflicting with state statutes: voter ID requirements, limiting voting to a single election day, mandatory precinct hand counting, and creating offline voter registration rolls. The state's primary argument relies on AB 969. Passed in 2023, this law restricts local governments from using manual vote counts for most elections, unless they follow a plan approved by the Secretary of State. The enforcement of this state law prevents the county from moving toward the manual verification and hand-counting procedures outlined in the voter-approved measure. By securing the injunction, the state used a procedural tool to freeze the entire initiative based on specific points of conflict with current statutes. Alexander Haberbush, the attorney defending Measure B, argues that the state statutes are being used to improperly override the charter authority the voters exercised at the polls. Haberbush utilizes severability, a legal principle allowing courts to remove invalid parts of a law while keeping the rest active. He argues the uncontested reforms, like bipartisan oversight and restructured counting teams, should be severed and take effect immediately. If the entire law remains blocked, it prevents the implementation of dozens of security and transparency measures not in conflict with any state laws. As the courtroom battle continues, internal friction has developed within the Shasta County government itself. Registrar of Voters Clint Curtis has stated he is prepared to carry out the measure, while County Counsel Joseph Larmer has taken an active stance against it in court. The internal dispute has become increasingly public. Curtis filed a state bar complaint against Larmer, alleging the county council attempted to influence him to provide false testimony regarding the county's ability to implement the new rules. This local divide has attracted broader attention. Outside groups, including the ACLU and the League of Women Voters, have officially joined the case as friends of the court, aligning their resources with the state's position. There is a firm deadline approaching. All ballot files for the upcoming election must be sent to the printer by August 27th. Because the preliminary injunction remains in place, the November election in Shasta County will be conducted under standard state rules, rather than the reforms passed in Measure B. Proponents are now escalating the case. Laura Hobbs announced that an emergency appeal has been filed with the 3rd District Court of Appeal to challenge the judge's ruling. This appeal focuses on whether a state statute can be used to preemptively block a county's charter power. The final decision will determine the actual extent of local control over election administration in California. To follow this story as it develops, make sure to like, subscribe, and visit ShastaUnfiltered.com for more updates on election integrity in the North State.